Welcome to this quick instruction video that is to go alongside the instruction booklet, and this is just a chance for you to visually see how punch needling works. So the idea is that the punch needle creates a continuous loop of wool every time you insert the needle into the fabric. It pushes the wool down, and then the tension of the loops and the tension of the fabric hold it all together. Your punch needle tool provided in the box, there are 2 punch needles, one silver for any thin wool and one gold for any thick wool. You can use thin wool for this one, however it might not hold in place properly, so this one is definitely recommended for a thinner wool. Your punch needle tool is essentially a long needle with a hollow middle through there and through to the other side, with an angled point at the end and a large eye which is through the back of your needle. To begin your punch needle creation, you will have been given a hoop in your kit. Yours is slightly smaller than mine is, and you will have a label that says draw here. Essentially, on your hoop you have 2 sides. This side that is where the hoop is exposed that you can see, anything inside of here is where your design can go, and then on this side will be your final creation side. So every so often you want to check that the tension on your fabric is quite tight, because this is what's going to help you create even loops and like good tension to allow the loops to stay in. So you need to make sure that it kind of feels as tight as a drum. So this one is down a little bit, and all you need to do is just pull up the edges like this, or screw. Sometimes this screw can come undone, and until it feels much better again. So yeah, there's not very much bounce there. You don't want any bounce at all if you can help it, and push these sides down. So on the draw here side is where you will be mainly working into. So we can draw our design as so, and don't worry if you want to change your mind, that's absolutely fine. You can just go over whatever design you create, because the loops will hide the fabric and the design, so you can change it as and when you need to. So to get started, you need to thread your needles. I'm going to be starting with the silver one, and you get your plastic threader. You can make your own. These I've made. This is a bit of fishing wire, I think, and a sellotaped end, and then you just need to pinch the end so you've got a bit of a point. You need to go in through that hole there, and don't push it out. You need to go down that hole until you come out the other side. In the eye, down the stem, out the end. And then to thread your wool, once the plastic threader is in, you can get your wool, the end of your wool, put it on the inside of that fold, as so. So like this, and just pull that plastic, and you should be left with that. So it needs to go under this, down the stem. And you want to check before you start that the end of your wool is coming out of this hole. You don't want it coming out of the angled edge, because it will not stay in the fabric. Okay, so when you come to start, simply all you need to do is hold your needle as you would probably a pencil or another sort of needle, and you want to keep your wool really loose. With the open and angled edge, which is this side, wants to go in the direction that you're working in. So push the sharp edge straight in all the way down until that handle touches the fabric. Now, to start, you want to pull that small tail out that you made when you were threading, and that is the only time you want to pull this. Show you again, like this. So once you've pulled this tail that's going to get trimmed later, bring the tool back up until the tip of the needle is level with the surface, as so. And to make the next stitch, all you do is move the tip a short way, bringing that up really loosely, skimming the surface of the fabric. Now you want to work from the outside in per like section of your design. So for this bit I would work around here, and then on the inside for this same round, and then on the inside. So small, really small jumps, really close brick. You want to avoid pulling your needle up like this because you will get really baggy loops, and it won't keep consistent, and it also allows for quite a lot of error when you're pulling it out. You could undo a lot of it, so you want to just fill in all of your section, and then I'm going to show you how to change your next colour. Okay, so I've just done round a few times, and I just wanted to show you how you change directions or turn a corner. So once you have your needle in place, we're going in this direction now. So the needle, the angle is going to face this way, but I don't want to work from right to left. I want to work down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push my needle in as if I was making a stitch, and then you can either rotate your embroidery hoop, or you can rotate your needle. Whatever you want to do is completely fine, whatever you're more comfortable with, but you need to do it while the needle is in position, because if you don't, you could lose your wool. If you do that, just gently pull until there isn't much at the bottom. I'm going to fill this in and then show you how to change colour. Okay, so once you are happy with your completed section and you want to change colour, what you want to do is you want to gently pull your needle up slightly until you can see this bit of wool start to emerge. Don't pull this very aggressively because it will undo all of your work. So once you've got that, you want to just hold the wool bit down until your needle is out of the way, and then give that a bit of a snip. Don't pull this again because your work will be undone, and then you can just pull the wool out. Now is a good time to check on your results. So it should look something like this, really full. If you do get any gaps, don't worry, you can just go into it back through this side. It won't matter if you go over these loops. And if you ever find that you make a mistake and you need to pull, so if you did an outline but you didn't like it and you made a mistake, what can happen is that it leaves the fabric with holes like this. So what you can do is just with the end of your needle, just move them so the weave of the woven and the weave of the fabric is back to normal again, so that it will hold your thread. So once you get the hang of it, you will need to change colour at some point. Again, once you've cut that, you can re-thread it, maybe go for something thicker this time. And so in the eye, down the stem, and then your wool. So you can see that this is slightly chunkier, whereas this is your kind of regular yarn. You will need anything thicker than this, will need the gold needle. So pull that through, tail again, hold it like a pencil into your shape, pull the tail out again like so, and then we can begin to go round. So angled edge in the direction that you're going. I like to move it as I go. This is for a circle. You may find that one of the problems you may get is that the wool is unraveling, so it's not held. This could be that your fabric isn't tight enough, so you might want to give that a bit of a squeeze. And it could also be your wool is not loose enough. If this is tight in the ball of yarn, you will find that the tension of this is pulling it back, which is meaning that the loops won't stay. So keeping that really loose helps. There we go. And like so. And making sure that you get a consistent distance. With the thicker wool, it's not too much of a problem as they kind of all merge together. So you shouldn't find that that's an issue. So now that I have done my colour of this section that I wanted, I can give it a bit of a check. I'm happy with it, however there are some small gaps and you could go over that and make it more even, but it's completely up to you. Now, once you've finished all of this, you will find that you get quite a lot of loops and it can end up looking something like this. So this is one that I've just completed. This is the back, obviously, from what I started earlier in the video. And these tails can get quite annoying if you cut them short, but this side is not to worry about. You have your completed side. Now, all of your loops should be quite even like this and very quite textural and tactile, which is absolutely perfect. And what we want to do is simply get your scissors and just snip and trim these little bits off. You want to be quite gentle with it. Probably get a smaller pair of scissors than these actually. And just snip quite close. You don't want to dig in like this. You don't want to go at an angle. I try and keep it quite flat because once they're cut, the edge of it blends in as a loop. So yes, trim all of these. And there we go. Once you finish trimming, you should have all of your loops very even and trimmed. So if you find spots like this that you're like, oh, I'll just give that a little trim, no worries. Just when you're happy with it, pop it back in the box and contact me when you've completed it. Okay, thank you. Hope you enjoyed.